Hi everybody, my name is Miss Evans. I'm one of the teachers for the History A level at ICC. I teach it alongside Miss Jarman Smith and Miss Brown. So I'm just going to go over what it is that we actually do in the History A level with you today. If you have any questions, you can email me and I will make sure to get back to you. So, over the next 2 years, you will study the history of Germany in addition to the study of British history. You'll undertake a thematic study covering an extended period of history of approximately 100 years. And you'll also get the chance to explore a topic in history that you have an interest in through the coursework element. So, I'm just going to break those down for you a little bit further. So in year 12, we do two of the components. So we study the British period study and inquiry, where we do England from 1547 to 1603, which is the late Tudors. That's worth 25%, and you will do an exam on that is for 1.5 hours. We also do the non-British period study, which is democracy and dictatorships in Germany from 1919 to 1963. And that's worth just 15% of your overall grade, and you have just one exam of an hour for that one. When you go into year 13, you look at your third component, which is your thematic study and historical interpretations. And we do popular culture and the witch craze of the 16th and 17th centuries. So this one's worth 40% of your overall grade. It's worth the most. So you have a 2.5 hour exam for that one. In year 13, we also do your topic-based essay, which is your coursework, and that's worth 20%. So just to go into those in a little bit more detail. So as I said, in year 12, you do the late Tudors and you do Germany. So the late Tudors is quite nice because if you've already studied Elizabeth, then it's building upon some of the information and some of the knowledge that you already have. The focus for this is on critical use of evidence in investigating and assessing historical questions. So you're actually given sources to analyse and evaluate. And you begin by looking at the mid-Tudor crisis. So you're looking at Edward and Mary, first of all, including the key topics of the stability of the monarchy, religious changes, and rebellions and unrest. Once you've done those, you move on to looking at Elizabeth I, and you look at religion, government and parliament, economic and social affairs, and the problems she faced with Spain. So, as I said, kind of building upon some of those things you might have already looked at. In contrast to that, you have democracy and dictatorships in Germany. So at ICC, we don't do this at GCSE, so it might be something that's new to lots of you. The exam asks learners to demonstrate an understanding of the key historical terms and concepts relevant to the period studied. So this exam is a little bit more like a GCSE exam where it asks you to make a judgment. So the exam tends to give you a statement, and you have to analyse and judge whether you agree with that statement, looking at things like cause and consequence and change in continuity. So you begin by investigating what Germany was like after World War I and the different problems that they faced. And then you use this information to analyse the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party, so how it is that they managed to kind of get to the position that they did. Then you look at the social, political, and economic impact of the Nazi Party on Germany. So you look at how women were treated, you look at the treatment of the Jews, but you also look at how Germany managed to kind of make improvements to the economy. And then we briefly look at Total War and World War II. Once we've done that section, you move on to the division of Germany after World War II. So going into the beginning of the Cold War, but we focus on Germany and what it's like there politically and socially. We tend to finish Germany a little bit earlier, so we move on and start the coursework so that you have lots of time to do your research for that. Which means that when we get to year 13, you can really focus on that coursework and writing. The coursework is an essay of about 3,000 to 4,000 words. But we go over how to structure it. We help you plan your essay. We look at how to carry out the research because you need to find different sources and interpretations that you're going to use within your writing. So we give you quite a lot of kind of help with how to develop your essays there. And it's a really nice bit of history to do, because you can actually pretty much do it on whatever you like. So if, for example, you haven't had the chance to study the history of medicine, you might want to focus on Renaissance medicine, for example, or you might want to look at women and the suffragettes. However, if you do want to kind of use your coursework to help you with your revision, you can also do your coursework on the Tudors or on Germany. So that's actually quite a smart option. As well as that, we actually get the chance to do revision for the Tudors and for Germany as well. So you get lots of opportunity to do lots of practice essays and make sure you're feeling really confident with that before the exams in May and June. Alongside the coursework, you also do your final component, which is popular culture and the witch craze of the 16th and 17th centuries. This is something that's quite new. Some people might have touched upon it slightly when you do crime and punishment, but obviously you develop it much, much further. Remember, this one's worth 40%. So for this, you're required to look at historians' interpretations and be able to evaluate them. And this theme focuses on the rise and decline in witchcraft during the 16th and 17th century, and how far it emerged out of popular culture of the time. You look at reasons for the increase and then decline in persecutions, the nature of witch craze, and the reactions of authorities and the impact it has on society. You also get the opportunity to look at some aspects in a little bit more depth, including Hopkins, who some of you might know as the Witchfinder General, and the Salem witch trials. So you don't just focus on British history, but you get to look at the witch craze around the world. And that's something that I think is really interesting. As I said, it's something that not everyone's really had a chance to look at in a lot of detail in your GCSE studies. So that's everything that we do. If you have any questions, as I said, please do get in touch and I will help you out with that. If you think this sounds really interesting, but you're not really sure whether it's relevant to you after your A-levels, keep in mind that history has lots of transferable skills for the workplace and university. Universities really like history. It's great for different jobs, especially things like law, but also going into the public sector and businesses, and obviously jobs within history. But the workplaces really like history as well, because you have to be critical thinkers and you have to be able to make judgments and make decisions based on facts. So really kind of a useful topic to have no matter what it is that you're looking for. So I hope that answers all of your questions. Please do get in touch, and hopefully I will see some of you when we come back to school. Bye-bye.